We have Dave in India. Pronouns are him. He's a theist. Dave, thank you so much for calling in. And how can we help?
Hey, so I just had a question that is the presence of alien technology an indication of God?
Is the presence of alien technology an indication of the existence of God?
Right.
That's the question?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not aware of any alien technology, but if you were to show me alien technology, that would be evidence for aliens. I don't see how that would be evidence for a God.
So that basically means that we have higher level of intelligence which exists in this universe. And if we go like, let's say 1 million years from now, we might invent God for our own selves.
I'm sorry, Dave. It's like you didn't listen to me at all and decided to respond with whatever you felt like. Okay? So what I said was that I'm not aware of any alien technology, so I don't have any alien technology to evaluate. But alien technology would be evidence for aliens. It would not be evidence for God. And none of this has anything to do with whether or not there's a higher level of intelligence. If there could be aliens that are lower level of intelligence, but have some technology, and their technology is evidence for their existence. It is not evidence that they are more intelligent. And even if it showed that they were more intelligent, that doesn't mean that they're gods. I'm very, very confused.
Okay. I just want to say that it will feel like God because the way they move, the way they maneuver, the way they have...
No, sir. No, Dave, did you ever see E.T.?
E.T.? No, sorry.
Yeah, E.T., the extraterrestrial Steven Spielberg movie from the 80s?
No, sorry, I haven't seen that.
Have you ever watched Star Trek?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. So in Star Trek, they run around and they explore strange new worlds. And sometimes they come across civilizations that are more technologically advanced than we are, or the Star Trek, the Starfleet is. And sometimes they run across aliens that are less technologically advanced, right?
Right.
Okay. So when they run across one of those aliens that is less technologically advanced, but they still have, houses, huts, technology, that technology is evidence that those people exist, but it isn't evidence, they're not necessarily more technologically advanced, and we wouldn't look at them as gods. Similarly, the Vulcans had technology that humans didn't have, but we didn't look at the Vulcans as gods. But even if we did, we'd be wrong because they're not gods.
Right. I agree to that point. It's just that, like, if you go back, let's say 200 years back, and if you show them a car, that would feel like some god made it, right? Because it's so advanced that they can't really,
right.
They don't have the perception.
But that doesn't mean that they're correct in that assumption, right?
Yeah, basically you're arguing that people will reach the wrong conclusion, and you're using what is basically Arthur C. Clarke's argument. Arthur C. Clarke famously said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Once you get to a point where you don't know how it works, whether it's technology or magic, you don't know. But that's about whether or not you can reach the correct view. What does this have to do with whether or not a God actually exists?
So I imagine that like a graph which is infinite in nature. There is no real endpoint. So you can just keep going in terms of your tech. And eventually we'll reach a place where we will invent the God for our own selves. Like, we can create multi-universe.
Dave, what does that mean? Invent a God? Because if you invent a God, to me, that's using a definition of God that is not representative of any normative definition of God ever used by humans today. So what do you mean by invent a god? That doesn't make sense to me.
So what I mean is like, let's say 1 million years from now, we have the capacity to create a whole new universe, and we just run this experiment where we create a brand new universe from scratch, and we give it another 2-3 billion years to grow. So all the things that will happen in those 2-3 billion years in that universe, they will all come back to us, finding us and exploring us, and they will eventually find us because we created them.
But that wouldn't make us gods, though. That would just mean we had sufficient technology to do all of those things.
Also, you're suggesting that you're projecting into the future. Let me ask you this. Right now, I weigh 212 pounds. I have weighed as much as 270 pounds. Is it possible that if I just kept eating and not taking care of myself, in the future, I could weigh 400 pounds?
There will be a saturation point. That's what I would say. Like, there will be a saturation point, but
I appreciate the fact that I appreciate the fact that you skipped the answer to my question and got to the end. But let's just say it's possible for me to weigh 400 pounds, 700 pounds, 1,000 pounds, but it's not possible for me to weigh 27,000 pounds. Correct? No matter how long I live,
right,
it may be impossible. So no matter how long the human race lives, there may still be an upper limit on what technologies we are capable of producing. It may be that the physical facts of the universe dictate that we can't do certain things. So you don't just get to project in the future and say, eventually we'll become godlikes. But even if we became godlike, or our descendants became godlike, that doesn't mean that we have evidence for a god. The fact that something is godlike or could be perceived as a god doesn't make it a god. So I'm really, where are we going, Dave?
Yeah, just wanted to like discuss that with you. Like, yeah, you're right. I agree with you.
Cool. Take a bong rip and sit around and discuss that elsewhere. I'm looking for people actually making arguments for the existence of a god. I'm looking for people who believe in a god, because it says here you're a theist. So what god do you believe in, Dave?
I believe in like Hinduism, like the one that they teach over here. So.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. Because we have always been using the bell as one of our symbols, and the UFOs that have been discovered recently, all of them were in bell shape. So I feel like ancient knowledge is being passed down in terms of symbols, and now we're discovering new machines and aircrafts which are resembling that.
Hey, Dave, what does the U in UFO stand for?
Unidentified.
Right. So how are you projecting that this is ancient knowledge and ancient technology? Because as far as I know, we don't know what the object in an unidentified flying object is. So I don't know how you could make any proclamation about technology, ancient technology, or alien technology. For all you know, that was somebody left mustard on the sensor.
So I think recently the Pentagon released a Tic Tac video, and apart from that, there have been Roswell incident and Skinwalker Ranch, where there have been multiple citations.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are you citing Roswell as confirmation of aliens?
Yes.
Not only Roswell incident, there have been different incidents where they all have reported the same phenomenon, where they see a circular disc-shaped object.
Yeah, but what's the confirmation that this is alien?
Because recently, I forgot the name of the guy, but he confessed he was a whistleblower in the Congress. He said that he was working.
No. I don't believe that guy. I think that guy's a lunatic.
Yeah.
That's not evidence. That's testimony. It would be no different than if you came in and started testifying. Where is the confirmation of aliens?
Well, if I can interject, it's worse than that. It's not as if Dave came in and testified. It's if Dave came in and testified that somebody else told him that. This guy was a second-hand report, not even a first-hand testifying.
How about Bob Lazar?
I don't know what Bob Lazar is.
You don't know Bob Lazar? He's like a famous guy interviewed by Joe Rogan multiple times, and he's a guy who.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is we're getting back to bong rips now.
If you learn stuff on Joe Rogan, you need to go out and learn it elsewhere, because Rogan is an idiot who doesn't challenge the people that he has on as guests and doesn't do any investigative study or information. So here's the thing. You say that you're a Hindu because you've always had bells as symbols in Hinduism, and now they're talking about alien spacecraft that look like bells, and you're now tied the two together and are convinced that this is confirmation of ancient knowledge.
Right.
What if you're wrong?
I can be wrong, but the way we are moving forward and the way new things are popping up, like Neuralink, Starlink, then ChatGPT.
What does that have to do with aliens? What?
So all this technology is a derivative of that alien technology.
Whoa. Dave, you're suggesting that new technologies are coming from aliens and not from us?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. How did you reach that conclusion?
Because we didn't have the microchips, which are invented for computers. We didn't really have a way to do that computational power. If you look at the size of a computer in like 1960, 1950,
yes,
they were like the size of a room.
Technology improves, Dave. Technology improves. This. Look, I'll give you this. Elon Musk is a weird motherfucker, but he is not an alien. Okay, unless you have some actual evidence of that, I would expect you to bring more than Neuralink.
Okay.
I don't know what to say when people start saying, oh, it's impossible for us to develop this technology on our own. It must have come from aliens. Let's examine that for just a second. I have here a cell phone. It's got microchips in it. It's great. I carry it all over the place. It allows me to communicate with people, both with audio and video and text. You seem to be suggesting that this is something that we could not have come up with on our own. We needed alien intervention to teach us this. How did the aliens discover this technology?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't know that. But the way, all I'm saying is, like, if you look at 1950s, like within a span of 10, 15 years, they reduced the size of computer by a tenfold.
Yes, because we stopped using vacuum tubes and we started using microprocessors. We developed semiconductor technology that replaced vacuum tubes. So instead of having a big fucking room, we were able to do it smaller. But my thing is, if you're going to assert that a cell phone couldn't be developed by humans and required alien technology, how did the aliens learn it? Who did they learn it from?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Let's bring this all back. Sorry.
Right.
I was going to say, let's bring this all back to where it started, right? You were claiming that this alien technology is somehow evidence for God. If you don't know you have no evidence that aliens did it, you don't know how aliens did it if they did it, how on earth could you possibly know that that is related to a God in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, so the statement that you said, like it will feel like any sufficiently advanced tech will feel like magic. So yeah, that's what I was referring to. That magic is God.
But
that's what I wanted.
No, but magic isn't God. That quote isn't saying that therefore sufficiently advanced technology is magic. They're saying that it would seem like magic, and the people who would think it's magic would be mistaken. You're citing a quote about people misattributing technology for mysticism or gods as a justification for why technology that you don't understand comes from aliens or gods. Like you literally are the example of what the quote is trying to explain.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just
Okay. We'll just leave it there, Dave. You can go off and think about that stuff. If you come up with better evidence for aliens or gods, I'm happy to know about it.
for sure. Sounds good.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Snow, executive producer of The Line, and I only became a woodworker for the puns. That's not important. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so on our Patreon or as a channel member, and you can actually support specific shows and specific hosts in special tiers on those. Check those options out. Also, you can leave a super thanks and get a little highlighted deal. But if all else fails, you can always you can subscribe and leave a comment. Now, here are some suggestions because I don't care about the algorithm. I am the algorithm. Bye.